Welcome to our YouTube channel. This will not primarily be a shoe review channel, although we might do the occasional ones. This is actually going to turn into our workout channel. We're going to do weekly workouts with the SpeedyG Racing team. But today, what you're all here for is the New Balance Fuelcell Racer Elite Class. This is their 4% competitor, so of course it's carbon plated. It's got super foam, so we're going to get into the details. So this is a women's 9. The only thing we know about the weight right now is that the men's 9 is about 7 ounces. So for the ladies out there, if you're smaller than 10.5, it's going to be lighter than 7 ounces. It's got 30 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 20 in the front, so it's a 10 millimeter offset. 30 is about 10 millimeters lower than what a Vaporfly is. So it's going to feel a little bit more low to the ground. It's got really good traction on it. And it does have super foam. That's always the big question. As we learned with the Hoka Carbon X, you can't just stick a plate into a shoe and think it's gonna compete with the Vaporfly. It also has to have super foam. And so this is Fuelcell. And I know a lot of people are a little confused. There's the Fuelcell Rebel, and that shoe does not feel like super foam, although it does feel pretty responsive. There are different types of Fuelcell. So if you've heard of the 5280, it's their road mile shoe here. This is their Fuelcell. This is their most responsive version of it. It's just like Zoom X or Hyperburst or the Piba foam that Reebok uses in the Floatride Run Fast Pro. You can see it up close. It's got lots of little creases in it, and I've really only done strides in these. So you can just see, you can squeeze it, you can see how much it compresses. So what the Fuelcell Racer Elite Class has is that same exact foam, it's just a little more reinforced. But you can see, you can squeeze it, it's really squishy, it's really light, it's not going to be insanely durable, but it is a little bit more durable than the 5280, otherwise they wouldn't be able to make it through a marathon with it. And so, 7 ounces, 10 drop, 30 millimeter heel, and since I'm not the one that's actually running in these, I'm going to shut up now and let Morgan talk about it. So first, why don't you tell us about the fit?
Well, I ran in it today, and I would say, I'm a 94% wear, and the Pegasus Turbo is also my training shoe. At least it was, but my foot is definitely more of a New Balance fit. So in this shoe, what I really liked was that the wider toe box. It definitely, you can feel that there, so you got more room up front. And then just overall, it really hugs the foot everywhere else. So you kind of don't even notice it on the foot, which was what I liked. I'm used to wearing track specs as well, and racing, cross-country racing flats. So when I don't have to really notice the shoe on the foot, I really like it. And that's how I felt wearing this shoe today.
And you mentioned the track fit, but you did say to me earlier that the toe box is nice and roomy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a roomy toe box, and then everywhere else it just hugs the foot really well. Feels super light, so you don't really notice it on.
Right, and then Morgan has done a ton of races in the 4%, so one of her biggest complaints with it that I think a lot of people have is the traction. So why don't you talk about the difference with the traction in these shoes?
Yeah, so with the Nike Next Percent is that it doesn't do well in the rain. So I raced a 10K where I had to finish on the track, do a track lap, and it was raining that day and got wet, and I was super uncomfortable once I got on the track, and it felt like I was kind of just sliding around, which wasn't great. But with this, you can feel all the contact there. I definitely felt today I was getting more up on my toes, and I felt a little give back. So that traction is definitely a huge benefit compared to the Nike Next Percent.
All right, and let's get into the stuff that everyone really wants to know. Does this shoe feel as responsive or more responsive and more energy return than the Vaporfly?
That's exactly how I felt today. It felt the same responsive as when I wear the Next Percent. I got that same give back feel.
I think another thing people will be slightly curious about is the little lateral flare. It's not super obvious on these two shoes like it is on the Fuelcell Rebel, but it's still there. So how do you feel about it? Does it bother you? Do you like it? What do you think about it?
So when my foot actually contacts the ground, I do roll to the outside just a little bit. So I feel this there, and I like it because I'm making better contact. And like I wear the Rebel myself as well, and I like that little lateral flare personally. So if you kind of roll to the outside, you're definitely going to notice it, and it's a good benefit there because you make better contact.
Cool. So that's the lowdown on the New Balance Fuelcell Racer Elite class. A lot of people have been seeing the TC, the training class on the internet. That is not their 4%. That is their Zoom Fly. This is their 4%. You guys will be able to purchase this. I don't know the exact date, but they have to be out by April. Otherwise, people couldn't wear them in the Olympics with the new rule. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I do think it is going to be around that $250 price point, just like the Brooks Hyperion Elite and the Vaporfly and the Next Percent and all that stuff. But it's competitive. Morgan likes them better. She's going to be using these instead of the Vaporfly now. So at least give them a try and see what you think. Thanks for watching.